Hi, your passport gets you into the country, your visa might let you stay, but neither one of those gives you the right to earn a single dollar while you're there. And that distinction has ended more international moves than bad weather, culture shock, and homesickness combined. Continuing in our series on moving to another country, today we're tackling work. Not just whether you can do it, but how it actually functions in the real world, what your options are, and why the rules exist in the first place. Let's start with the big question. Can you just move to another country and start working? In most cases, no, it is not that simple. Almost every country on the planet has laws that regulate who can work within their borders. These laws exist to protect local workers, manage tax revenue, and control immigration flows. When you arrive in a new country, you are not automatically entitled to work there just because you have a visa or even residency. Your right to work is a separate legal permission, and getting that wrong has serious consequences. Here's where it gets interesting. There are actually several completely different scenarios depending on how you plan to earn money, and each one plays out very differently from a legal standpoint. The first scenario is working for a foreign employer remotely. If you are employed by a company back in your home country and you simply move your laptop somewhere else, many people assume this is totally fine. And in some cases it is, but here's the catch. Many countries have started closing this loophole. If you are physically present in a country for more than a certain number of days, even working for someone overseas, that country may consider you a tax resident. Your employer might also face legal exposure in that country depending on their own corporate structure. This is the digital nomad situation, and it is far more legally complex than the lifestyle influencers make it look. The second scenario is getting hired by a local employer in your new country. This is the traditional path. You apply for jobs, get an offer, and someone wants to hire you. In this case, most countries require your employer to sponsor your work visa or work permit. This is a process that takes time, involves paperwork, fees, and sometimes labor market tests where the employer has to prove no local worker was available for your role. The employer carries significant responsibility here, and not every company is willing to go through that process for a foreign hire. The third scenario is starting your own business or freelancing in your new country. This is where people really get tripped up. Setting up as self-employed or running your own business typically requires specific permits, registration with local tax authorities, and sometimes minimum financial thresholds. Just invoicing clients from your laptop does not automatically make you legally compliant in your new home country. Now here's the emotional reality of all of this. You land somewhere new, you are excited, you are ready to build this life, and then the bureaucratic wall hits you. It can feel completely overwhelming. But here is the mindset shift that changes everything. By understanding the system is how you beat the system. Once you know the rules, you can plan around them strategically. Let me give you the value loop here. Every country has its own specific framework, but they all follow a similar logic. You need permission to be in the country, and separately, you need permission to earn money in that country. These are two different things. Conflating them is where most people make their first mistake. Some countries have created specific visas designed for remote workers and entrepreneurs. Portugal has done this. Spain has done this. These are formal pathways that give you legal clarity on exactly what you are allowed to do and how your taxes will be handled. These are worth researching deeply if you are serious about working abroad. Speaking of taxes, this is the part nobody wants to talk about, but absolutely must. When you work in another country, you often become liable for taxes in that country. But depending on your citizenship, you may also still owe taxes back home. Americans face this particularly acutely because the United States taxes its citizens on worldwide income regardless of where they live. Understanding your double taxation exposure before you move is not optional. It is essential. Now let us talk about the timeline reality. Even when everything goes smoothly, getting proper work authorization in a new country takes months. If you are planning to quit your current job on day one of your move and immediately find local employment, that timeline almost certainly does not work. Most people need a financial runway of several months minimum while their status gets sorted out. The smartest approach most successful international relocators take is this. They either negotiate to continue working remotely for their current employer before making the move, or they line up their new work arrangement before they leave. Trying to figure it out after you land puts enormous pressure on the whole experience. Here is the payoff I promised you. Working abroad is absolutely achievable. Millions of people do it successfully every single year. But the ones who make it look effortless did their homework first. They understood their visa category, they understood their tax obligations, and they had a clear legal path to earning income before they ever boarded that flight. The biggest takeaway from today is this: never assume your right to work is automatic. Always verify what your specific visa or residency status permits, and when in doubt, talk to an immigration attorney in your destination country. The cost of that consultation is nothing compared to the cost of getting it wrong. Next video, we are diving into healthcare. How do you access medical care in a new country? What does it cost, and what happens in an emergency? That one is going to be critical. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it, because that might be the most important video in this entire series.